Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm so grateful. In today's video, I wanted to talk about a few personal success stories around my health. So, since a few days, I have been feeling really good in my body and I've been feeling really grateful about my health. So, today I was just inspired to make this video and discuss a few things that I consciously chose to change regarding my health for the better. So I have narrowed it down to around four things, three of which are from 2020 and one is recent, like a few months back. So the first health story is around a condition called pneumonia that I suffered with 18 years ago. I was in 8th standard at the time. I was in India, I was in Delhi, and it was the winter season going on. So, personally, as an individual, I do not like winter seasons anywhere. I do not like the weather, which is too cold to an extent where you need to really cover your head, ears, neck, and your hands. And I have lived in those countries where there's like extreme winter seasons. I have lived in Russia for 3 years. I have lived in Ukraine for 3 years, okay? And it's never suited me, even as a child, even when I was a baby. And Delhi winters are also known to be really severe. So, winter season has never suited me. I've always fallen ill, either cough or fever, and this time it was extreme, okay? I caught pneumonia. So the winter season doesn't suit me, doesn't suit my body. I don't like it, I don't prefer it. I like summers more or those kind of specific weather conditions that are moderate. So long story short, I was in a very miserable condition physically and it took me around 2 months to heal and get better and join school again. I was extremely weak. I had lost a lot of weight. I was dehydrated. I had immense hair fall and I had completely lost my sense of taste. So I was not able to enjoy food at all for those 2 months. And I had gotten so weak that I was not able to take care of myself in the sense I could not take showers by myself. So my mom used to help me during that time. So I did get better. I healed completely with the help of medicines and treatments. Now the thing is, the problem I started having after that, after I was healed, was this problem of consistent phlegm coming out of my system throughout the day and night actually. And this went on for 15 long years up until 2020. And it was not just a normal avoidable problem of phlegm where it's just coming a few times a day, you spit it out and it's fine. I used to have a very heavy phlegm problem that used to lead me to coughing, and that coughing would not stop until I actually find a place to spit it out, or either I had to always carry tissues with me. So, as a child in school, I faced a lot of problems, disturbance during my day, during my classes, and yes, a lot of embarrassment as well around new people whenever I used to start coughing. And because it used to be a heavy phlegm, I have to take it out. And sometimes, as a child, especially, it used to be embarrassing to take a tissue and actually spit it out. And where do you keep the tissue after that? So, I used to prefer going to a washroom, and it could be that I went to washroom, took permission from the teacher 10 minutes back, and again after 10 minutes I'm having that bad cough. And till you keep coughing, everyone will keep staring at you, and that cough, when you have a phlegm and a normal cough, sound really different. Usually people get really grossed out when someone is coughing and it has that phlegm sound in it. So that was my experience in school, and that went on in college, that went on to my workplaces, and also to other kind of gatherings, events, or hangouts that I used to be a part of. Other than the times that I was with my close friends, I didn't mind just having a tissue and spitting it out. But when it used to be someone else, or it used to be during a meeting or workplace, or people I've just met, I always prefer using the washroom. So it's like constantly getting up and trying to find washroom, or if you don't have tissues, you're stuck because you cannot just spit out on the road everywhere. And if you're in between a conversation, or you're in between presenting something, or you yourself are in the meeting who's talking about something, discussing something, putting some points across, and then this comes up and it will not stop until you are able to go to the washroom and clear your throat, and it can come up 5 minutes after that, 10 minutes after that. So this caused, yes, it caused me a lot of embarrassment. It caused me a lot of disturbance in my daily activities, especially while engaging with other people. So this is something I really, really wanted to get rid of, and I didn't know why it stayed for so long. I had pneumonia back when I was in 8th standard, and for 15 years after that, till I started working, till 2020, as I said, it continued. I have no idea why. We did get it checked by a few doctors that, I don't know why this is not going. It should have gone away when my pneumonia was healed, but now there's no reason for this to continue, or it keeps coming up, because otherwise I'm quite healthy. So didn't really get any answers anywhere. So this is the first thing that I consciously manifested away. I was really fed up of it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get up every 5-10 minutes and keep spitting out. And when you cough so much during the day, right, constantly you're spitting out, constantly that cough is just coming up, it starts hurting your neck and your lungs after a point of time. So I was so fed up with it. I was just like, I don't want this. I don't know the reason for it. The few doctors I visited were not able to, tell me any reason. And pneumonia is gone. I'm like a healthy person, almost like 80 to 90% healthy person. And I don't want to, be going through this. I don't want this phlegm problem to be there anymore in my system. I was so highly, intensely, truly fed up of it, that it was more from that point of frustration and anger that I was like, no, this has to go away. I'm not going to be the person who has this problem of phlegm anymore. And I actually made this decision. I think it was around December 2019 or Jan 2020. I don't remember correctly, but it was during those months. And by the time I realized that this has actually disappeared away, it was really gradual. It was so slow that I didn't really notice it. Why I didn't notice it, I'll tell you. Because it had become such a normal part of my day. Like, this happens. Like, imagine 15 years. This happens. It's a part of my day. During my day, I wake up, I have my breakfast, I cough, I spit, I go to my work, I cough, I spit. So it had become a very normal part of my life. So slowly, when it started disappearing away, first it started reducing and disappearing away, I didn't actually notice it. And that is because I had a lot of other things going on. When the lockdown took place, the work from home situation increased our work a lot. So we were working so much, to the extent we never even worked, in the office. Because initially that adjustment of, ensuring your team is working, is delivering, is being productive, the ways of working completely changed. The number of meetings increased a lot. The number of projects we had to deliver and prove our productivity increased a lot. So there was so much going on. It was just such a busy time. I actually didn't realize that this phlegm problem has actually started dissolving away. And it was exactly in the month of May 2020. So Jan to May, that's around 5 months. I finally noticed in the month of May that I'm actually not coughing as much. I'm not getting up as much to spit. That phlegm is not coming up that much. And I was truly surprised and amazed that day when I realized it. I was sitting for some time and I was actually thinking about it. And I mentioned this to my sister and friend as well, that, I've not been coughing that much. I've not been having that heavy phlegm problem. It's been a few weeks, I think, because I couldn't track back. Because it just started decreasing so gradually that I couldn't really keep a track of it. I was so busy with the other things. But my frustration and anger at that point in time in December, Jan, was so much that I didn't have any resistance around it, okay? I didn't have any fears and doubts. And as and when, I grew up, by the time I reached my college and my workplace, I didn't really feel any embarrassment from it as well. That was just in school. So I was okay. I knew that, yes, I do have this problem. It disturbs me and I want it to go away. It was just that one decision, okay? I did not put any work in that after making that decision. There were no techniques involved. There was no discipline, as in no time being set apart to visualize or affirm or do these things that, I don't have a phlegm problem, I don't have a phlegm problem. It was just a very, very firm decision I made that this will not stay in my body. I'm not going to have this problem anymore. And I did not change anything in my routine after that. I did not do anything in the 3D. Previously, as I mentioned, I did go to a few doctors and they were not able to tell me anything. They were just giving some cough syrups which had no effect on that consistent problem of phlegm. So there was nothing different I was doing. I used to exercise before, I did it during the lockdown at home. Food habits were the same. Hydration habits were the same. There was nothing that changed in my routine in those 5 months. But it was just that firm decision once that I made that I will not have this problem in my body. This has to go away. That's all. Apart from that, there was no other work put in. That knowing for me was more than enough to convince myself that this will go away. And no, the 3D did not bother me. I did not get bothered by it when I still did cough and still did spit out phlegm for the next 3, 4, 5 months. It did not bother me. As I mentioned, it was such a normal part of my day. It wasn't that every time I'm coughing and getting up to spit, I'm feeling bad that, oh, why this is not going away? Shit, I'm coughing again. Shit, I'm having this phlegm again. I was doing none of that. I just made that really firm decision and I just let it be. I just let it be, and I know what decision I made. There was nothing else. There was no other feeling bad about it, emotionally reacting, putting any techniques, because I had zero resistance around it. When I made this decision that this has to go away, I had no other thoughts after that. I had no fears, doubts, or triggers that, no, this will not go away. It's been 15 years. Why would it go away now? None of that. And that is the main reason why I did not have to put any other work into it, because I had zero resistance. And when it comes to these things where you have zero resistance and you make such a firm decision, especially with that anger and frustration that this has to go away, it will eventually be that way. So think about it. Why do we put repetition, discipline, and techniques into something? One, because we have a lot of resistance around it, so we need to change our beliefs, right? Second, same thing, we need to change our story around it, so we keep putting that repetition to feed our mind the new story. Third is because we have a lot of focus on time, so we know that the more we put repetition, the faster the beliefs will turn around and the faster my manifestation will come to me. Fourth is because we have had negative experiences around that specific area of our life, so to ensure those experiences don't hold us back and we are able to let them go peacefully and be ready for new experiences, that's also where techniques, repetition, and discipline comes into the picture. Now, mind you, I did not have any of that around my phlegm problem, okay? I did not have any attachment to my old story, which was 15 years long. I did not care about it. I did not care. It did not bring me down that because it didn't heal itself in 15 years, it cannot happen now. I did not have any resistance around it because the moment I said this has to go away from my body, I will not take this anymore, that was a very firm decision. I was not scared of anything after that. I never used to sit and think about it in ways where, what if this never goes? People do that a lot with their health problems, right? Because one is it's disturbing them, and one is they really get scared or embarrassed that what if the people around them, really find it unhealthy and disgusting. So I never did any of that, okay? I was really okay with it. I never used to get embarrassed about it anymore. I used to really own up that, I have this issue. It's because there's a backstory to it, right? Once I did fall really sick, and since then I've been having this problem. Anytime I liked a guy or had any feeling for a guy, I never thought that, what if I cough in front of that guy and they feel, disgusted by it, or they hear the phlegm noise and they feel really grossed out. So none of that. I had zero resistance. I had complete belief. I had that true knowing within me. I did not get bothered by the 3D. I did not get bothered by keeping a track of it, that, I'm still having cough. I'm still having cough. Like after 1 week, 2 weeks, I'm still having cough. I did none of that. It was just me making that firm decision and moving on with my life. And those 5 months were as similar as the previous 5 months were. Nothing else. complete focus on work, complete focus on food and exercising, and staying safe because COVID had just begun. So that's how my 15 years long problem of heavy phlegm and cough disappeared away. And I don't have much to tell you guys about it. I've just told everything that I could recall, but it just magically disappeared away because I did not want it to be a part of my body anymore. I just did not want that disturbance anymore. And at that point, after 15 long years, I was completely fed up of it. And I was aware of conscious creation, so I know I can choose my experience. And this is an experience that I don't like. It's not making me feel good. It's disturbing my day to day life. I want it to go away. So that's all I did. And in this specific story, there is no action taken by me in the 3D. So some places, some kind of inspired action does happen. Some places it does not happen. Uh, you can heal your body if you've had any kind of disturbance or pain through the power of your mind, okay? Because when it comes to your health, your will to be treated or your will to get healthy again is really important. You would have heard of so many cases. If you have not, I would really ask you to go and do some research on it. But even when people have these really big and scary diseases, right? Um it's their will that has to be counted. It has to be there. A person who is not willing to get healthy again, a person who is not willing to lead a healthy life, and they're just not willing to be treated because they have just given up in their mind, they've just given up and they're okay. They're okay with being sick, or they're okay with just, in extreme cases, to just, peacefully pass away. Doctors are not able to do much in those cases, and you'll see a lot of these videos and pages where you'll hear testimonials by the doctors that people who have had strong willpower and they wanted to live and they had the strong belief in them that they will get well, they will be fine, for them treatments, medicines just start working the way they should be working. And for the people who have just given up on life, or they cannot, and that is for their own reasons, they are not being able to bear that pain anymore, and they just feel at this point in time, becoming free from that pain would be much better than keep going on like this. So people who have had really weak will, for them even medicines and treatments have not been able to do what they were supposed to do. So it's really important when you go to hospitals or to doctors, or even if it's not that extreme, like I told you, for me, I didn't have to really go and get any treatments done, but it's that will you need to have. You can heal your body with the power of your mind, and there's a lot of proven studies out there on this which you can look up for. So when it comes to your health, do remember that you have to be strong headed. Your will has to be more than your fear, more than your doubts around your health. And my life has been really good, to the extent it can be good, with my problem of coughing and phlegm disappearing away. I feel really good. Like internally, I feel really good. My body is much relaxed now that it's, gotten rid of that constant coughing throughout the day and night. Anytime I have to like wake up and spit. I could never sleep in my bedroom without a box of tissue papers. I could never really go anywhere. My bag, my school bag had a lot of tissues in it. My car, till 3 years back, had a lot of tissues in it. And I used to get freaked out actually if I didn't carry tissues. I used to get scared. So I used to ensure I'm keeping enough tissues with me. Even if I used to go out and eat somewhere or in restaurants, I used to just take up a few tissues and put them in my pocket, because especially during the early days when I was in like undergraduation, college and school, I used to get really, really embarrassed of it. So that's my story of how I got rid of my heavy coughing and phlegm that was with me in my system for 15 long years. And this is the fourth year now that I'm phlegm free, cough free, without really doing anything in my 3D. I did not make any other changes. I did not take any treatments, no supplements, nothing. It was just something I decided has to go away from my body, and it did. So I hope I was able to add some value to your manifestation process through this personal success story. I do have a few more things, little things here and there regarding my health that I will make a second video on. But do try this out, okay? And for me, because I had no resistance, I didn't really have to do techniques. But there are techniques you can do. There are specific guided meditations around healing your body that you can do once a day, every day, and really get rid of these kind of things where you're having certain joint pain, body pain, migraine issues. On all these things, I have seen people dissolving these things away just by having made that decision that this is not how my health is going to be going forward. If you have any kinds of questions around the topic of manifestation and health, you can leave it in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a great week.